Grand Rising loves. This is the altar spread for the collective today. And so the sacred geometry that showed up for today, let's see if I can get this. I'm teaching myself how to use this thing. So it's a little awkward because I am technically challenged, but I'm doing my best. So hexagon represents the beauty of symmetry that we see in nature. So this shows up in snowflakes, in flowers, in beehives, and it's the perfect structure of symmetry and how that actually contributes to the beauty in our surroundings. And hexagon shows up to remind us that maybe we've been taking that for granted. So being shut in, right, because of all the chaos that's happening, have you been neglecting to go out and pay attention to all of the beautiful things that are in your environment? Have you been neglecting connecting with nature? And so I know where I'm at in the desert, it can be really easy to do that because it's so hot that it just feels uncomfortable. But I have to every single day make sure that I spend some time outside because it actually helps clear me as a vessel. And it's important for me because I do work with the elements so deeply in my work. If I am not honoring and connecting with those elements, it's self-betrayal, like a deep, deep self-betrayal and betrayal of those tools that I use in my environment. And so this also talks about that, drawing in the tools of nature into your space. And so as you can see on my altar, and I'm just going to pan out so you can see, I try to tie in all of the elements. So there's the element of fire because of the candles, and I have this vessel that has water in it, and the feathers that I have, because owl is my totem. This beautiful upper wing was a gift from Walking Crow. Thank you, Walking Crow. And I have these feathers, which this beautiful one was Nigel, a gift to me. Thank you. This one was actually from my owl that watches me in my yard when I meditate, especially in my medicine wheel. And his name is Joel's. And this was given to me by an owl on the East Coast when I flew back home to visit. It's also barn owl. And because I was away from my beautiful guardian, this was found on a hike. And then the beautiful Hopi elder that I'm friends with gifted me this owl feather. And so the feathers represent the element of wind, fire, water, and then earth are these beautiful stones. So this is one of my favorite malachites. And this is fibrous malachite, but isn't that beautiful? It just looks like silk. So anyhow, the stones represent earth. So I have lots of crystals. These are Tibetan points. I have the rose quartz, and I have bee pollen and seeds in this vessel. And so I represent every element on my altar. And so that's how I also stay connected with nature in my healing space. And so it's really important for you to connect with nature more deeply so you can bring those beautiful elements into your sacred space or go out and connect. I mean, it's really important to do that. And so sacrifice has showed up again. And this is interesting because today it actually showed up right side up, whereas yesterday it showed up in the reverse. So it's saying that you are putting far too much importance outside of yourself. So how about you give it up? Because to sacrifice means to make sacred, right? So showing up in the upright, it's saying, okay, just the last little bit of thing that you need to do is to give of yourself. Because the most valuable part of you is your heart, your energy. And I always say that my most valuable commodity is my love and energy. And so if I have gifted you that, believe me, you have been chosen, but very thoughtfully chosen for me to give that, because I am making sacred my time with you, but also it's a great offering. The sacrifice I am making sacred and giving this offering to you. And I think that some people perceive that ease of gift as that it's not sacred and disrespect it, but then that's where they get removed. But it's important for us to really be aware of our worth and importance and our great, great divine nature. And so don't shortchange yourself, but offer it up and say, this truly is the most valuable thing I have to give, and I give it all. And then kyanite has shown up again, and it was quite a while when that showed up last. And kyanite is beautiful. It's a storm stone, and I love working with black kyanite, but kyanite also comes in green and blue. Blue is very calming. Green tends to be very calming as well. Green is the most rare of the three. But I love working with black because it's so powerful. And I've been using, these are the ones that I shared the other day. So it can be called black kyanite wings or fans. And so these definitely look like wings. They look like these beautiful black angel wings to me. And this one, which I'll share with you, would be more a fan. But this is how they grow. Isn't that amazing? But these stones are so powerful that they never need to be cleansed or polished themselves. It's a very powerful stone, and I love working with them. They're protective, they're purifying, but they showed up in today's reading to remind you that kyanite is the bridge. And so what it's telling you to do is to create connections in your spiritual path. Don't burn bridges, but create bridges now. So that community, we can return to unity consciousness by honoring the uniqueness of those outside of us, but also to build on our community. And I love that this showed up, especially now, because honestly, I mean, I'm not going to get up on a soapbox about the whole chaos, about what's happening in society, but there is this undercurrent of rage. And a lot of the rage is because the deceit is being uncovered and exposed. And please know that a lot of that deceit is your own. But in order to heal that rage, we have to create community so that we can rebuild love, because out of rage and fear, the hearts become closed and rigid. And I'm seeing that a lot. So even people that were heart-centered that I knew prior, and then they come in and have sessions, I'm like, wow, we have to work to chisel this open again, because there's this huge amount of guardedness. And what a lot of that is the soul memory of being destroyed. And you can feel like this unstable nature of society. And it's something that's happening in a very deep subconscious level that, oh my God, I'm going to be burned. I'm going to be drowned. I'm going to be beheaded, or whatever the feeling is from the soul memory. This trauma response is retracting the heart space. And so you really have to work doubly hard at staying heart-centered instead of trying to project outside of yourself, and really look inward do the deep work. And I know it's hard doing deep work. That's why so many don't do it. That's why so many are all talk and don't walk the talk. And you're seeing that, especially now, it's being revealed through very large spiritual pages, that they were really swimming the shallows all along. And they're reverting to like affirmations type posts, and it's just like, ew, we need more substance. And so they're really exposing themselves as frauds, really. And so I'm grateful for that, because hopefully more people will realize that the real guru is within themselves. And that's always my goal, to help people remember who they are. Remember who the fuck you are. So Ixchel showed up, and this is the medicine of the rainbow jaguar. And what this actually brings in a message of is transition. We are in a transition, and it's a transition to something so powerful that our own intellect cannot even fathom what it's going to look like. So you really have to surrender to it. You can't have expectations going into this. You really have to let that shit go and surrender to it, and know that this jaguar medicine is going to protect you through that. And so anything that is not serving that highest good will be eradicated. Any dense energy, any malicious energy will be eradicated. So you have to trust that and know that. But also, when you're walking your path and you see something of old, right, that has come back from the old paradigm and said, hey, look at me, can I distract you? You have to be strong enough to say, nah, man, fuck all that. And keep on your path. So the common pulse of today is connecting with nature and really keep yourself in that state of heart-centeredness and connectedness. You have to do that, and then offer it up, knowing I am the most divine thing that there is. And so guess what? I'm offering myself up in surrender. I am making sacred myself. So sacrifices and surrender is not about being defenseless and weak. It's about having the most courage that you can summon and saying, take it, because this is the most divine thing that I can think of. And when you sacrifice, you make sacred. It's knowing your worth. Let's get with that. And just because you claim your worth and say that you are the most divine thing that you are aware of, does not mean that someone else isn't. That's also old mindset. Drop that shit. If you feel any kind of way about someone saying, I am the most divine thing that exists, if you feel any kind of way about that, that's your shit. That's not their shit. Because nowhere in that statement does that say that you aren't that, or that you can't be that. People need to knock that shit off. Let's heal it all. Let's purify it all. Let's recognize our divinity in the face and hearts of everyone that we meet outside of ourselves. Let's recognize our divinity in the nature that holds us in this human experience. And let's make it sacred. Let's recognize it, make it sacred. The universe is working to connect us to our highest good. Everything is for our betterment. Let's take a unified breath together. Releasing with an audible sigh.